Elizabeth Foreman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 13 is here. Season is flying by, if you ask me, guys. Coming off a big Week 12. We'll go over that in a minute. Big Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Thanksgiving with your friends, family. If you do celebrate it, I know I have viewers and clients all around the world, but a lot of you guys are in the U.S. Probably I would say maybe 85 to 90% of clients are in the U.S. So hopefully you enjoyed it and you ate well on Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys tailed me last week on the outright market. We did hit the outright underdog once again with the Broncos. We hit the Broncos. Most of the public and most of the handicappers that I saw were on the Chargers, but I love the Broncos in a bounce back spot at home there with that defense. 8-3 on the outright market right now. Nice 8-1 week last week for myself and clients. Moving, that was on spreads and totals. Only missing on a couple smaller unit plays. One was a prop. Guy got hurt in the first half. So that obviously is tough. And we also lost on a smaller teaser. I'll be looking at 3 games like usual, guys. One being the Monday Nighter, big Monday Nighter. It's going to be exciting, that matchup. We have Ravens and Steelers I'm going to take a look at. I'm going to take a look at the Broncos and KC, and then Pats and Bills. What do all 3 have these in common? Big divisional games for all 3 of them. Weekly update. Let's take a look at the weekly update here, guys. Looking to carry over the big week last week into this week. We're on a 50-33 run, all bets. 31-19 on spreads on the year, spreads and totals. That's 62%, just under my goal there. Lots of time left though in the NFL, and just under 9 units on the year. Goal's always 65 to 70% winning percentage, guys. That's the goal heading into the year. Some handicappers will hope 60 or high 50s. I aim for higher, and I usually get there. And 65 to 70% is the goal. And I'm expecting a solid finish here, guys. You know, after Thanksgiving, when you really get rolling, you know what teams are good. You know what teams are frauds. You know where teams can win on the road or not. Now we're in that time. NBA, guys, 21-5 start to the year. 21-5. It's been a great start to the NBA season, highest in the market. I got screwed last night on only the second time with a late lineup change. Second time in the year, and that's the hardest thing to do in an NBA handicapping. Because sometimes it's a last minute guy sitting. Like last week, Paul George, I was on the Clippers against the Kings. George sat last minute, and it was for rest. He wasn't even injured. So those are hard to judge, right? So that lost me on a game last night, but we did hit the Wizards. We had the Wizards over the Timberwolves, and they cruised to victory at home, going 1-1 last week. But this run is... I'm hoping this run can keep up. Obviously, there's going to be a regression when you have a high total like this, but this is just setting me up to a great winning percentage on the year in the NBA. UFC, no event last week, but back this week. Bets will be sent out to clients soon. You can also check out my free play video. Check it out now. Free play video. It's on my channel. 68% long-term. On all fights, guys. Long-term run there. No profit a few weeks ago. I'm looking to get back on track this week. PGA off last week in the PGA. 70% best bets over 2 years. Large sample size, guys. 65% matchup run long term, and over 62 units in the prop market. 5 outrights in the last 13 events. We have the Hero Challenge going this weekend. NHL, very low volume right now. Picking my spots. Usually putting teams in two-team parlays, focusing on 4 other sports right now. NHL may pick up later on in the year. Guys, big promotion for the month of December. $100 off the year package. $100 off the year package. Best way to get a good sample size and where I can prove my long-term winning is getting a longer package. So $100 off. Go to my website, systemsportscapping.com. That's where you can check it out. Of course, full records there, videos, and much, much more. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. Like, comment, share with your friends. Get everyone on board. Your parents, whoever. I don't care. The more viewers, the better. I just want to thank you guys for watching. And the guys that really support me over the few years, you guys know who you are. I do thank you guys a ton. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into the plays. Trying to make these videos a little quicker for you guys, just so you're not here sitting around forever. Let's start with the Ravens. Ravens -4.5 at the Steelers. Total 44, maybe some 4s out there. Who doesn't love one of the biggest rivalries in sports over the years? Maybe not right now, I understand, but over the years, 20, 30 years, let's say, I'm going to say more 10 to 20 years. I do admit it has died down over the years, but a lot of history between these two teams. They don't like each other. Nothing these guys like about each other. Both teams always show up in this matchup. Both teams, will have this circled on their boards to start the year. Steelers have struggled this year, guys. No secret about it. Big Ben is out of his prime. He's not playing like he can or like he has in previous years. Injuries are slowing him down, and injuries are slowing this team down as well overall. 5-5 on the year. Steelers haven't won a game in their last 3, one being a tie versus the worst team in the NFL, the Lions. Ryan Clark quoted it best this week. He said, "You're just not scared to go play this Pittsburgh team, especially in Heinz Field right now. You're not scared to play this Pittsburgh team, and you used to be. You used to be scared to go into Pittsburgh and play them. You had that circled thinking, oh, this is going to be a tough game. We're going to come out of this game with a bunch of injuries. But you're just not scared anymore going into Pittsburgh. And I don't blame any team that's not. You just can't right now, right? Yes, the Bengals last week beat them up at home, but they blew them out by 30, guys. The Bengals blew them out at 30, even though it was in Cincinnati. Lions rolled into Pittsburgh and tied them. Yes, I know there were some situations with weather and no Big Ben, but you're just not scared to play this team right now. And there's not much more to say than that. At home field, they're not great. They're 3-2-1 on the year at home. In comes the Ravens, who I know this team like the back of my hand. And I think they're very lucky to be 8-3. I don't think they're an 8-3 team, to be honest, in my opinion. But they keep finding ways to win games. Is this going to cut it in the playoffs? No. But in the regular season, they continue to find ways to win games. If it's either their defense at the beginning of the year or was with Lamar Jackson throwing, but now he's struggling, so their defense is stepping up. This team has so many injuries to start the year, the most to start the year, and the big players. It's not like just some backup guys. It's all big players. They're starting right tackle, Marcus Peters. They're starting running back. It just goes on and on and on. Now Calais Campbell on the line. It just continues to go on and on. And it is hard to bounce back. But when you're coached really well, you can win games and steal games. And that's what Ravens have been able to do. Right? I'm just surprised they're 8-3. Last week was an ugly game, to say the least. Lamar was terrible, but the defense was great. And it continues to bail them out. I expect Lamar to be better here, right, versus the 25th ranked defense, allowing 367 total yards and 133 rushing yards per game. That's 28th in the NFL, guys. This Steelers defense is not the Steelers defense of old. Yes, they have some injuries, but it's just not built like it used to be. The Steelers will want to run the ball, right, on offense. The only problem is the Ravens are second in the NFL against the run. You want to pass on this Ravens team. They're ranked actually dead last. That's rare to say. The Ravens are ranked dead last, 32nd in the NFL against the pass. So Big Ben will want to throw the ball here. I think Johnson should have a big game for them. I don't think anyone can cover Johnson on this team, even Claypool as well. This is going to be the game for Big Ben to come out and have a big game. And I do expect a good game from the Steelers here. I expect a good game here. I don't think they're going to get blown out on their home field. I think Tomlin will have them up for this game. This is a division game. Usually when these two play, it's close. All right, it's within 3 points. So I got to look the Steelers here with the points. I don't know if they'll win the game, but I will take the points with them. I don't love it. But if you're asking me to play, it's going to be the Steelers side at home after a bounce-back situation. And I lean the over 44.5. Does look a bit low with these two struggling defenses. Broncos at Chiefs, guys. We were on the Broncos. We had a nice play, +3, Andy outright on them last week. Chiefs, 9.5. Total 47.5. Another divisional game here. And guys, the Chiefs may be back. They may be back. 4 wins in a row now, one being against the Packers. However, that was without Rodgers. Keep in mind, they did have a very impressive blowout win in Vegas, and then a win over Dallas. So Broncos, they also been playing better, guys. Don't sleep on these guys. Their defense is really impressive. Very good defense. 3-1 in their last 4 games. Only if this team had a quarterback. If this team had a quarterback, they would be dangerous, to say the least. They have weapons, guys. 2 good running backs in Gordon, Williams, Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Fant, their tight end. They have weapons. This Denver team is solid. They started well, but then they went on that losing streak. And now they're starting to play better. So watch out for them. We were on them last week. And if you had that defense just stole the game. I haven't seen a better defensive performance all year, guys. It was outstanding. And I think they're starting to get healthy on defense. So that's very key here. They are healthy on defense now. Broncos are a top 10 defense in total yards allowed, passing yards, and points scored at 3rd. Just under 18 a game. So a battle of the top offense versus the better defense and one of the better defenses in the NFL. So it's going to be exciting. So due to that, I think it's a bit too high in the points. I would have to lean the Broncos to cover this 9.5. I do think the Chiefs win the game. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's close. I think it's going to be a closer type of game, and I lean the under. I lean the under 47.5 due to that Broncos defense, and let's see if they can show up on the road in a big game here. Bills -2.5 versus Pats, total 43. This is the game I'm most excited about, and it lands on Monday Night Football. A big game for both, and the division title could be on the line here, guys. Bills at home. It wasn't pretty last time they were at home, right? They lost the Colts outright. It was an ugly one. I was on the Bills on that one. I took that in the chin. Normally one of the better home teams. Hard to play there sometimes due to the weather. The fans are nuts. The weather won't bother New England as much. However, their quarterback Jones a bit, right? He's not used to playing in cold. And there may be snow in the forecast for this one. 28 is the scheduled forecast. Right, we're 3-4 days away, so definitely check it at game time or that same day. But it's not going to be pretty in Buffalo. Bills still rank first in total yards allowed, which should slow down this Pats offense, who's been killing it as of late. Right, blowouts in a lot of their games, scoring in the 40s, even in the 50s, even though it was against the Jets. Pats D. Also just almost as good as the Bills this year. They're actually first in points allowed in just over 15 and change a game. Now you do have to look at who they're playing. Let's quickly look at it, guys. The offenses aren't great. Titans last week with no guys. No Henry, no Brown, no Julius Jones, all backups. Let's not get excited there. Falcons are struggling. No run game, no Ridley, and they struggle to score. Cleveland, who's struggling to score with Baker right now. There's no secret there. And they had no running backs in that game against New England. Chargers. They had the best out of all these. During the streak, Chargers put 24 against them. They could have won that game. And Chargers is the best offense in this whole group. They scored 24 on them. I think Bills have a better offense than the Chargers. And then the Jets. So we don't want to get into the Jets' offense or defense. Bills will be the best offense that this Pats team has faced. I think the Bills are going to be able to score on this New England offense, at least get in the mid-20s. So Pats are going to have to keep up. And if this Bills defense plays anything like last week or anything like that first ranked to their defense, it's going to be a long night, I think, for the Pats. Now, I still think it's going to be a close game, but if you're giving me under a field goal right now with the Bills, I'm going to have to take the Bills at home. If it was in New England, maybe different. They wouldn't be favored. So I like this line, -2.5 Bills. I lean the over as well. 43 looks a bit low on this Monday nighter. Underdog of the week, guys. Underdog of the week. Can we hit another one? This record's very impressive, especially for underdog plus money. If it was just spreads or total, it's still good, 8-3. But this is underdog outright winners, guys. We're doing well once again. Last year I forget what I went. It was like 12-4, 12-5, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was another good season on the Underdogs. And the Underdogs are hitting, and they are cashing this year, so you have to look that way. Now, I'm warning you, I don't love anything this week. I don't love anything this week, but I am going to go over a few that could upset, and then my favorite of the week, but I don't love it. Pats, right? I just mentioned it. New England could win this game. New England could win this game. I would more 60-40 Bills. But definitely the Pats could go into Buffalo and beat them. It's just a tough road game for them, in my opinion. Steelers over Ravens. Like I mentioned, I like the Steelers in the points. And they're in a desperate bounce back at home here. I know they're not the same Steelers team, and it's just the Ravens aren't playing great, guys. They're sneaking out wins, but this eventually is going to have to stop. My favorite's going to be the Chargers here at plus 145. I'm just not confident on it. I think they could go into Cincinnati and beat them, catch them sleeping here. I think the Chargers have enough on the offensive side, and especially after facing a tough defense like Denver, they're going to have a lot easier time against the Bengals. I think the Chargers at plus 145 is a good value at plus 145. I think they could sneak into Cincinnati and steal a game, but like I mentioned, I do not love it this week and not as confident as previous weeks. I'll leave you guys with a teaser, like I always do. I'm the first one to admit my teasers haven't been great. They have not been great throughout the year for clients or for video viewers. So we're going to try to get back on track, maybe end the year strong here. So tread lightly. I'm going to go Rams minus 5.5 and the Colts minus 3. I think the Rams are going to beat up Jacksonville this weekend. They're due for a big win. They're at home. Jacksonville stinks. And the Colts in Houston, Taylor's just going to run the ball over them. I think the Colts also win by double digits in Houston. That will do it, guys. That will do it for NFL Week 13 video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. Check out the UFC video as well. Enjoy the games. I'm going to head over and start watching the Thursday night game. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.